This weekend, we continue our annual Stewardship renewal, looking through the eyes of faith. And stewardship begins with the realization that all that we are and all that we have are gifts from God. And out of gratitude for all that God has given us, our life, our family, our friends, our resources, our talents, our abilities, we have a responsibility to return a portion of that as a way of saying thanks to God. We're in the second year of our 3-year theme, focusing on the journey of faith through the seasons of our lives. And this year we're looking at those in the middle years of life, who are the backbone of our parish. We now invite Jane Mescher to come forward as she witnessed what stewardship means to her. May she inspire us in our own lives of serving the Lord and one another.
Good afternoon. My name is Jane Mescher, and I am a retired nurse. I have been a member of IC Parish since my marriage to Charlie, who has been a member all his life. We have a son named Greg who lives in Walpock with his wife and daughter Vita. I have been a Eucharistic minister for many years. I help with church decorations, giving tours of IC Church, and serving at funeral luncheons. I also help with the IC School Library and volunteer at the Parish Festival. Father Ken asked me to give a talk on stewardship of treasure. Well, actually, Charlie asked me first if I would be willing to talk to the Stewardship Committee, he's a member, about my volunteer experience with the St. Vincent de Paul Society. I readily agreed to do that because it's a wonderful ministry, and I strongly suspect that many, like me before I became involved with the society, have only a vague idea of just how exactly the St. Vincent de Paul Society helps those in need. Later, I found out from Charlie that it would also involve giving a treasure, time, and talent stewardship witness talk at all the parish masses this weekend. That's what 46 years of marriage will do. Your spouse knows how to give you to do something you probably would not have readily said yes to initially. I wish I could tell you that I have been involved with the St. Vincent de Paul Society for many years, but the truth is, I have only been involved for a few years. When I retired from nursing, I had decided that I was not going to rush into any new volunteer commitments. I was going to wait to figure out where my gifts and talents would lead me and what I really wanted to do. The St. Vincent de Paul Society was nowhere on my volunteer radar. I received a call out of the blue from the then president, Bert Everman, asking me if I would consider taking over as president. Have you ever noticed how many of our commitments begin with a phone call from someone? I thought to myself, what? Why me when I had never volunteered with a group? She explained that she thought it was time for her to step aside and let somebody younger with more energy take over. More importantly, she talked about the various activities that they do. It was a leap of faith for me, and I said yes. It was a rather hesitant yes, to be honest. But the fact that she used the adjectives younger and energetic didn't hurt either. I have never regretted that decision. The involvement has helped me to grow spiritually by learning from the actions of others and becoming more open to the needs of others. That often happens in stewardship. You give to help others in need, and yet you end up receiving so much more in return. St. Francis was right. It is in giving that we receive. The mission of the Society is to help others in person-to-person relationships through a spirit of justice and charity. The most visible part of the St. Vincent de Paul Society for many are the collection boxes at the entrances of the church 1 weekend a month. But that's only the beginning of how your generosity touches so many. Our St. Vincent de Paul Society often acts as a safety net for those who have a sudden need. Sometimes it's a call to the rectory from the person in the community, or perhaps our home agency that is unable to help someone due to funding criteria or lack of funds. For example, we have helped a senior citizen on a fixed income who didn't realize he had a broken water pipe, which resulted in a $800 water bill that he couldn't pay. We were able to help a struggling young family get their furnace fixed in the middle of winter. Some of the funds collected go directly to local agencies that have the personnel to better screen requests for help. We pledge a monthly amount to our home and the Call Food Pantry. Recently, we added Mercer County Jobs and Family Services to our monthly pledges to help with their increasing caseload of children. Drug use has been a significant factor in the increased caseload. We give quarterly donations to Choosing Life Pregnancy Center. This one's a special one for me because I was an OB nurse for half of my nursing career. The American Red Cross and Mercer County House of Hope, which is a place of recovery for men and women suffering from addiction. This year, we were able to add the Neurological Center. We also give yearly donations to St. John's Builders. When appropriate, we purchase gift cards for those in need through Script so that we are also helping IC schools. There have been times when we have been concerned about having enough money left over to help with any of the unexpected needs. One time, our prayer was answered when we received a $1,000 check from the estate of a deceased parishioner. This past year, a parishioner gave us an unexpected check of $1,000 when our funds were getting low. These are just a few of the ways parishioners are the hands of God coming through for us and those in need. St. Vincent de Paul is also about person-to-person ministry, such as bringing birthday flower arrangements to parishioners in nursing homes and shut-ins. At Easter time, we also give a small gift to those parishioners. 3 years ago, I volunteered to deliver some of those gifts. That year, the gift was a small plastic terrarium with a butterfly sitting on a flower. The wings had a solar battery, which made the wings flap when placed in the sunlight. I went on Good Friday afternoon with my granddaughter, Vita, who had recently turned 4. At that age, she was very shy around strangers. I talked to her about what we were going to do, that she could be the one to actually give the gifts to the people, but I really wanted her to at least say hello to each one. Charles Borger's room was the first parishioner that we visited. The first thing that Vita noticed was birthday balloons that she immediately recognized as being the same as some of the ones she had for her birthday. Vita asked me who the balloons were for. The gentleman sitting in the room said they were his. He had just celebrated his 101st birthday. Vita then told him, well, she had just celebrated her 4th birthday. Those two then had a serious discussion about their respective birthday celebrations. It was a joy to observe. Two individuals who were very proud of their milestone birthdays, who just happened to be almost 100 years apart in ages. Wow. We eventually left his room and delivered the rest of the gifts. We didn't discuss anything further about what we did and went home to color eggs for Easter, which is what she was really looking forward to doing. 3 years later, this past spring, I got a phone call from my daughter-in-law, Julie, saying she had something she thought I would enjoy reading the next time we got together. The following week, when we were in Wapak, she handed me a paper that Vita, who was in 2nd grade, had written for school. Her class was learning how to write paragraphs, and the topic was helping someone. Helping makes me feel good. I helped my grandma Mescher give people butterflies. First, I helped her carry a box in. I didn't know what was in it. Next, I begged to open it, and she finally told me I can open it. Then I opened it, and I saw a lot of butterflies. I didn't know why I saw butterflies. Last, we went to the nursing home and gave people the butterflies. It was so fun helping. I loved it. I had no idea that our visit had made such an impression. Yet, that's what we call the joy of stewardship, sharing your time, talent, and treasure with others. It touches us in ways we would never expect. By the way, the teacher commented, "So proud of you for helping." It was certainly a leap of faith for me to say yes to the presidency of the St. Vincent de Paul Society, but I have never regretted it. It has enriched my faith life to see Christ's work in action. I have been humbled by the generosity of so many sharing their time and money, and it's such a blessing to witness the impact such giving can have on children and all people. Isn't that what stewardship is all about? Taking the leap of faith, answering the phone call, being humbled by the many blessings God shares with us, and saying yes to the Lord. I encourage you to also open your hands and heart to the phone call or invitation that may be coming your way, and trust that the Lord has blessings in store for you and many others. Thank you for your attention and all the ways you share your time, talent, and treasure with others.